Have you ever sat in silence staring at your phone, wondering if they're thinking about you too? Wondering if somewhere in the quiet spaces between their daily life, your name still echoes? If you've felt that, you're not alone, and this video might just give you the answers you've been searching for. Before we dive in, take a moment to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to watch this video till the very end, because it might just change the way you see your past, and more importantly, the way you take control of your future love life. Let's begin with a story, because every heartbreak has one. There once was a man, we'll call him Julian, stoic by nature, calm in appearance, but inside, deeply wounded. His relationship had ended 6 months prior, and though he pretended to have moved on, gym selfies, career wins, Instagram stories full of laughter, deep down, he was still wondering, does she ever think about me? He remembered a quote by Marcus Aurelius: "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth." And Julian, in his pursuit of truth, began to observe, not just his own thoughts, but hers too, from a distance. That's what this video is about, the signs. The subtle signs your ex may be missing you more than they let on, not out of ego, but out of awareness. So here they are, brought to you through the lens of Julian's story and the wisdom of the greatest Stoic emperor to ever walk this earth, Marcus Aurelius. Sign 1. They break the silence first, randomly and repeatedly. Have you ever been sitting alone at night, maybe scrolling through your photos or listening to that one song, the one you both used to play on long drives, and suddenly, your phone buzzes, and it's them. No context, no build-up, just a simple, casual text like, "Hey, what was the name of that movie we watched on your birthday?" Or, "Just saw someone who looked exactly like you. Made me laugh." Your heart skips a beat, your fingers freeze above the screen, and whether you admit it or not, something deep inside you starts to hope. This is where our story begins with Julian. Julian was just like you. He wasn't trying to wait around for her. He'd been going to the gym, working late hours, even trying to flirt again, but late at night, when the world went quiet, he'd still wonder, is she thinking about me? Then came the first message. Short, random, out of nowhere. No explanation, no clear reason. Julian felt confused. Part of him wanted to believe she missed him. The other part told him not to fall into that trap again. But then, it happened again. 3 days later, another message. "Just heard that song you always sang in the car. I can't stop laughing." Now I want to ask you, the person watching this right now, has that ever happened to you? Have you ever had someone you loved, maybe even still love, come back into your world through a simple text that said nothing and everything at the same time? Because here's the thing. When an ex breaks the silence not once, but repeatedly, it's not just a coincidence. It's emotional gravity pulling them back toward the only thing that ever felt real. And you know what's interesting? They don't come back with deep apologies or confessions. No, they come back with casual questions, innocent reminders, random thoughts. But if you listen closely, it's never about what they're saying. It's about why they're saying it. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If their soul is still thinking of you, that's the color they're wearing. And every text, every random message, they're just trying to see if you're still listening. Julian started noticing the pattern. It wasn't just curiosity, it was longing. She missed him, but pride held her back from saying it. And maybe your ex is doing the same thing. So ask yourself, who broke the silence first? Who reached out even when there was no reason to? And what did you feel when they did? Drop it in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Your story matters. Your pain, your memories, they're not just yours. They're part of this story, our story. Because maybe, just maybe, this video isn't just about Julian. Maybe it's about you. Sign 2. Mutual friends start acting strange. Have you ever been around your mutual friends after a breakup and suddenly things feel off? You know what I mean. They smile just a little too much when your ex's name is brought up. They ask you vague questions like, "So, how's life been treating you?" Or they say things like, "I saw someone the other day who reminded me of you two." And you're just sitting there, pretending like you don't notice the awkwardness, pretending like your heart didn't just thump a little harder in your chest. Julian noticed it too. It had been 3 months since he and his ex split. He'd started seeing people again, not seriously, just testing the waters. But then, at a small birthday gathering, he ran into their mutual friend, Ethan. Now, Ethan had always been chill, but this time there was something in his tone. "Bro, you've been quiet on socials lately. No gym selfies?" he joked. Julian laughed it off, just keeping it low-key. And then Ethan said casually, almost like it wasn't meant to slip out, "Yeah, she asked about you the other day. She said you looked different, like happier." Boom. That one sentence hit Julian harder than he expected, because let's be honest, why would she be asking? Why would she even notice? Now I want you, the person watching this, to think about your mutual friends. Have they dropped any hints? Acted a little strange? Brought up your ex out of nowhere? Sometimes when your ex is missing you, they don't always have the courage to reach out directly. So they do the next best thing, they send scouts. Your mutual friends become bridges, messengers, quiet observers. They report back what they saw, what you said, how you looked. And sometimes, they say things you were never supposed to hear. And let's be honest, when a friend says, "Hey, she was asking about you," that's not small talk. That's a crack in the wall. That's emotional leakage. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know anything about the subject." But here's the thing. Your mutual friends do know the subject. They were there. They saw the love, the fights, the laughter, the break. So when they start acting weird, it's usually because they're holding something back. Julian knew it too. And suddenly, every interaction with those friends became a code to be deciphered. A puzzle that spelled out one thing. She missed him. Maybe not enough to call, but enough to wonder. And maybe your ex is doing the exact same thing right now. So tell me, have your friends been acting strange lately? Have they mentioned your ex out of the blue? Has someone told you she was asking about you? If they have, don't ignore it. Because this story, it's still unfolding. And the signs only get clearer from here. Sign 3. They start posting things that seem meant for you. Have you ever looked at your ex's Instagram story, or maybe scrolled past their latest post and felt like it was speaking directly to you? Like a lyric that screams the pain you both never admitted. Like a quote that echoes words you once said. Like a caption that feels too personal to be random. Because if that's happened to you, then let me tell you, you're not imagining it. Julian knew this feeling well. It had been about 4 weeks since his ex had texted him randomly. They hadn't spoken since. But one morning, as he was sipping coffee and half awake, he opened Instagram and there it was. Her story, black and white. A sad song playing softly in the background. The lyrics, "I still look for you in everyone." And just like that, all his healing cracked open. Now I want you, yes, you watching this, to stop and think. Have you seen your ex post something lately that felt too real? Not a selfie, not a random photo of brunch, but something with weight. Something that made you stop scrolling and stare. Because sometimes when people miss you, they don't send a message, they send signals. Julian kept watching. Over the next few days, it became a pattern. Quotes about timing, pictures of places they used to go, songs they used to dance to in the car, posted late at night. Now here's the thing. On the surface, it could all seem like coincidence. But your heart knows better, doesn't it? There's a kind of communication that doesn't need words. And if you shared a real connection with someone, they know how to reach you without ever texting you. It's like emotional Morse code. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself and your way of thinking." And yet, when someone starts flooding their world with reminders of you, their way of thinking is no longer within themselves. It's orbiting you again. It's them trying to heal, trying to remember, trying to be seen by the one person they wish would see them again. Julian didn't reply, but he watched, and part of him wanted to believe she was just posting for herself. But deep down he knew she wasn't just processing the breakup. She was wondering if he still looked, and maybe your ex is doing the same. So I want you to reflect on this. What have they been posting lately? Does it feel like they're saying something without saying it? Drop it in the comments. Tell me what you saw, what you felt, because you're not alone. And your story might be unfolding just like Julian's. Sign 4. They bring up old memories, indirectly. Have you ever had someone mention something from the past? Something oddly specific. Something that only you two shared, and even though they never said your name, you knew? You felt it. Like a private code from a world only the two of you ever understood. That's exactly what happened to Julian. It had been a while now, No calls, no texts, just the occasional post that made his chest ache. He had stopped expecting anything, really. He was trying to move on, telling himself she was gone for good. But then something unexpected happened. He was out for coffee one morning, and one of their old mutual friends sent him a story from her page. No caption, just a short video of a place. That place? It was the bookstore, the little vintage, one with creaky floors and dusty shelves where they used to spend lazy Sunday afternoons laughing at the weirdest book covers. It wasn't just a random location. She filmed the exact same corner where they sat on their first date. The same poetry shelf he once teased her about. And just behind the shelf, you could see the old green chair where they used to read together in silence. Julian stared at it. No text, no tag, no mention, but his heart, it knew. Now let me ask you, yes, you watching this, has your ex ever done something like that? Maybe it wasn't a story. Maybe it was a photo of a beach you walked on together, a movie ticket stub, a vague tweet like, "Some songs never get old," followed by a music note emoji in your song. These aren't coincidences. These are emotional fingerprints. Because when people truly miss you, they don't always reach out directly. Sometimes they echo the past. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So ask yourself this. If your ex keeps revisiting the places, songs, and moments that only the two of you shared, what kind of thoughts do you think fill their mind? Julian thought he was imagining things. But then it happened again. Another story. This time, a photo of her meal at that diner. The one where they spent 3 hours talking about their childhoods, holding hands under the table like high school kids. And just like before, no caption. But everything about it screamed, "Remember us?" These moments, these memory breadcrumbs, they're not just nostalgia. They're subtle cries. They're whispers through the noise asking, "Are you still thinking of me too?" So tell me, what memory has your ex brought up lately? What post, message, or moment made you feel like time bent, and you were back in that shared little universe of two? Share it with me in the comments. Because if you've noticed these signs, you're not crazy. You're not overthinking. You're just in the middle of a story that may not be finished yet. And the next sign? It goes even deeper. Stay with me. Sign 5, they become extra curious about your life. Have you ever felt like someone was watching your life from the sidelines? Silently, carefully wondering what you're up to, who you're with, and whether you've moved on. Not in a creepy way, but in that quiet, soul-stirring way, the way only someone who once loved you could. Because that's exactly what happened to Julian. It had been months since the breakup. He was healing slowly but surely. His gym routine was back, he'd picked up new hobbies, and he even started journaling every morning. But something strange started happening. He noticed that whenever he posted on his story, especially when he was dressed well, laughing out with friends, or just radiating peace, she viewed it, always. Not just sometimes, every single time. And even though she never replied, never reacted, never said a word, her presence was undeniable. Then came the messages. But not from her, from their mutual friends. Hey, she was asking if you're seeing someone. Bro, she wanted to know if you still work at that same job. Or the one that really hit. She said you've changed a lot. In a good way, Julian laughed the first few off. But deep down he knew she was curious. Not out of casual interest, but out of a place of emotional gravity. Because when someone starts asking about your life after the breakup, when they start wanting to know what you're doing, who you're doing it with, and whether you still think of them, it's not about you. It's about what they lost. Now I want you, yes, you watching, to pause for a second. Have you noticed your ex poking around your world in quiet ways? Are they watching your stories but never saying a word? Are friends suddenly bringing up conversations that feel too intentional? Because here's something to remember. People don't ask about things they've moved on from. We don't stalk what we've stopped caring about. And we definitely don't study the lives of people we no longer love. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. But here's the twist, your ex? They're trying to control outside events because they've lost the calm inside their mind. They're curious because they miss that peace they once had with you. Julian realized it too. It wasn't just about checking his life, it was about reaching for pieces of it, without asking to come back in. And maybe your ex is doing the same right now. So let me ask you again, have they asked about you? Have they been watching from afar? Do you feel their energy even in their silence? Because if they're still curious, they're still connected. Drop your story in the comments. Let's talk about it. You're not crazy, you're remembered. And that means something. Stick with me, because the next sign might be the one that reveals everything. Sign 6, they randomly reach out, but with no clear reason. Has your ex ever messaged you out of nowhere? Not to ask for their things back. Not to talk about closure. Not even to say, I miss you. But just something simple, something vague, almost like a whisper that came from a dream. Hey, how have you been? That's it. No context. No explanation. If that's ever happened to you, trust me, it means more than you think. It happened to Julian too. It was a regular Thursday night. He was just lying in bed, scrolling through music, half asleep. And then, ping, his phone buzzed. Her name lit up his screen. He stared at it like it was a ghost. The message? Hey, do you still remember the name of that coffee place we went to after the art show? That was it. Not I miss you. Not I was thinking of you. Just a random, fragile thread tied to a moment they once shared. Julian didn't know what to say. His heart was beating out of his chest. Not because of the question, but because of what it meant. And let me ask you, the one watching this right now, has your ex ever done that? Reached out not with purpose, but with feeling, like they were trying to find a reason to open the door. Without fully stepping through it. Maybe they asked about your favorite pizza spot. Maybe they sent you a meme only you would understand. Maybe they said, hey, I had a dream about you last night, and then disappeared again like it meant nothing. But you and I both know it meant everything. Because here's the truth that people don't say out loud. Sometimes the heart sends messages the mouth is too afraid to finish. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. And when someone reaches out randomly, softly, indirectly, it's because their soul is still dyed in you. Julian didn't answer right away. He just stared at the screen, feeling 100 memories rushing in like a flood. That night he couldn't sleep, because her message wasn't about coffee. It wasn't about the place. It was about connection. It was a breadcrumb, a question dipped in nostalgia, a way to say I still care without ever saying it. And maybe, just maybe, your ex has done the same. So let me ask you now, have you ever gotten that message out of the blue? Hey, do you remember? Hey, I saw something that reminded me of you. Or even just, hey. If you have, then you're living proof that the story may still be alive. Don't ignore the silence between their words, because in that silence, love still breathes, the bigger truth. Julian's story may not be yours, but his signs, his truths, they apply to thousands, millions even. People leave. People let go. But when someone truly misses you, the universe leaves clues. Their actions, their silence, their nostalgia, their questions. All of it is their soul's way of saying, I'm not over this. But don't chase, don't beg, don't fall into the illusion of temporary feelings. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. If your ex is missing you, let them. That's their journey. Your power lies not in proving your worth to them, but in becoming someone who doesn't need their validation anymore. And if one day your paths align again, let it be from a place of strength, not longing. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.